Hey guys, Ancient Rune here with another Borderlands build video, and I will be showcasing Hustler Eraser Zane. No fancy build, just pretty much down to the point. Yeah, it's very fun. It's in the community build Zane documents, which I run with Build for Long. Link will be below. I also play this on Twitch a lot. Twitch will be down below. Yeah, it's a really fun build, very high peak damage and clear speed, and I really enjoy it. So there's some gameplay here of some of my favorite and best Hustler guns. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Alright, now I'll start with the skill tree, starting with Zane's new 4th tree. We go Deja Vu, returning ammo. We'll be hitting crits a lot, so we'll have chances to return crits. Commitment, because cooldown nice. Hits in hand, if you do naturally crit, then this is good and it'll really ramp up your damage. Fugitive, spreading and shooting, just really nice. Domino effect. Fire rate and reload, always good. And then Eraser is the main point of this build, and that's why we're going down here. And then we have No Way Out for debuff. That'll go through Eraser, and then just proliferation for 5 charges is really nice. Green tree, nothing here. This is just from our class mod. Just the cooldown's nice. The points don't really matter in the class mod. Nothing here really helps. You could use barrier for your second action skill, but it doesn't help clear speed, which this build isn't about. Well, this build is about clear speed, but not about hitting that higher damage. We go down to clone. Double barrel, giving clone damage. Immunities for mag size. Action skill uptime. Duct tape mod for immunity to slash, which is a big thing with this build. Giving clone damage and some health regen is nice. Fractal frags. Now, it's been said before that fractal frags is good. It's mainly bad if you're using Seeing Dead, though I would probably still take it now because you can throw damage nades or debuff nades or stuff like that, and then that'll make you and clone do more damage. And without Seeing Dead, you're not really throwing this as much, or clone's not throwing it as much. Quick breather, really good for keeping clone alive. Old you, if you go into fight for your life, you can use this. Really good fight for your life tool. Clone in general is a good fight for your life tool. Pocket full grenades, have grenade regen for beam enhance. Supersonic man, move speed, it's nice. Trick of the light, bonus cryo damage. Doesn't go through Eraser or anything, do like crazy stuff, but it's just good bonus damage. Then double barrel, giving clone weapons so we can kill stuff. We go which one's real. Aggro draw, really good for survivability. Then double banger so you can blow it up and replace it. You could do this one, getting shields restored, get amp damage uptime, but you'd be giving up aggro draw, which can mean that you don't get as much amp damage uptime because more enemies are shooting you, but test it out, see what you like. Now, no death follows close. Most builds go death follows close, and most of the time I would say get death follows close. But the main thing this is boosting is gun damage and crit damage. Now, because Hustler is considered a post at crit, that means it does not get your other crit bonus besides other posts at crit. It's only boost. It would be boosting this hits in hand, which we don't have all uptime on, but it's still good if we do. Less cooldown and some gun damage, and then violent momentum, but this isn't the main build. This mainly just hurts your initial shot, but not having this just means that we can get clone doing damage, which helps clear speed in the end. Yeah, and so we have the violent speed, cold bore. I like it more for the swap speed than the bonus damage. The bonus damage is still insane. This helps with some of the weapons for the swap speed. like COV weapons, because one of the main ones we'll be using is Yellow Cake, and that has a wind up, and swap speed helps that wind up. Violent Momentum, gun damage, best gun damage source. Still does a lot of damage without the false close. Salvation, no brainer. Cool Hand, have 2 out of 5 to go down tree, plus Seeing Red's no brainer as well. You can mess around with what you like with Cold Bore and Cool Hand. Just choose what you like. This is how I like it. Playing Dirty, you don't need much of it because we're not shooting super fast, so you'll usually have Playing Dirty up 99% of the time. And then Good Misfortune for the uptime of Clone. Now for the gear, I was showing off the main guns I use for the setup. There's a lot more that you can find in the build document, but I'm just going to be showing you some of the most powerful and some of my favorite. Yellow Cake and Creamer, most powerful weapons for Hustler Racer. They're just insane. They can double dip all these bonuses over and over again a lot. AC Slash for the Anoint, because that goes through Eraser as well. This EMP5 is just for move speed. It's nice to get place to place. You don't need it at all. I just like it. You can put on another Hustler weapon you'd like. And then Sandhawk is for Clone. Any elements. This isn't max damage. I'm pretty sure this fire one is max damage, 35k. I might be wrong. Yeah. Anoint doesn't matter at all because you're not shooting it. Clone doesn't get your Anoint besides AC Splash. And Elemental Crit. Elemental Crit isn't that good for what we're doing. It's pretty niche Anoint anyways. But AC Splash is based on the weapon you're holding, and we're not going to be holding the Sandhawk. Now, because I mainly use the Yellow Cake, you're going to want the red suit if you're using the Yellow Cake with as much amp as you can, which would be double amp. I'll explain the Anoint in a second. We use an It's Fist for debuff. You can also use a Mesmer. Now, we're using Terror because Terror damage counts as V1 damage, which goes through Eraser. And then that just means that we keep getting that, and we don't have like any V1 damage at all anywhere. We can't get any because we're not shooting fast for Kuka combo in our Guardian rank. So yeah, we have it on shield to apply, and you can only get Terror damage fire rate on your grenade or weapon, and we need Splash for a weapon. If you don't want to do that, you can do ASC Cryo Radiation. Radiation, if you are using Red Suit, you can use Cryo if doing Red Suit or just anything. Cryo can be good for anything because it doesn't hurt you, it just slows you, which can kind of suck, but it works. And now, if you aren't using Yellow Cake or any radiation weapon, you would want to use the Wish. Now the Wish adds an extra projectile, and that means another chance for Hustler procs. Now you'll see that we go ×2 on these two weapons because it'll give us more chances for Hustler, and that's just more damage output. Now you see we also have Amp here, and that's because it's amazing damage. And now for Artifact, we go the Toboggan. Gives amp damage after you slide. Amp damage all multiplies with other amp damage, so it's just amazing. You can also use a Snowdrip Victory Rush if you cannot get a Toboggan or a good Toboggan, but you have a good Snowdrip Victory Rush. That'll work because that also Victory Rush is counted as V1 damage. And V1 damage is great. And then just sliding is good clear speed. Now we have heavy weapon damage and area effect. Those are the two ones I'd mainly recommend you get. The third slot doesn't really matter. I like heavy mag size. So yeah, weapon type and area effect damage. Now you want area effect damage in your second or third slot. That'll also give a radius, which helps get more Hustler procs for some reason. Not exactly sure, it's just how it works. Yeah, and then if you have a problem with ammo, you can use that cup burst launch pad. You can also use a cup burst static charge with a stinger. That works as well. Now, Revolter isn't that good because it gives a bonus element which doesn't go through Eraser. Doesn't do the double dipping. Um, like our other stuff is. So, not very good. I just have it to have it. And then a Frozen Heart just to freeze enemies. Then you could use that with like an Icebreaker and get that through if you really want to. But the main ones I use is the Red Suit and the Front of Wish. And then if you want to use Cupverse easily, you can use it with a Stinger. Or you can just use it with a Launchpad. You could use a Cupverse Victory Rush. Yeah. I usually mainly use this for certain areas where I get low on ammo, and I just have this on all the time, but you can swap back and forth if you'd like to. And then some other weapons I really like with it is the Scoville is very fun, and the Rocket Pod is very fun. And there's a bunch of other ones. And some of those would be the Recursion. Shrieking Devil is also another one of my favorite ones. The Globetrotter, the Nukem, Critical Thug, Rebound, Anarchy, Gargoyle, Sawbar, and the Shocker. You can also do the Root, but don't, because it'll ruin your eyes more than this build already does. It's just super bugged. Alright, for Hustler, main purpose of this build as well as Eraser, because they coincide with each other. Damaging an enemy with non-crits, gain stacking 25% post-add crit damage. At a 5% chance for non-crits to score a crit hit. That'll mean that it uses up the post-add crit, not real crit like Heads in Hand. And skill stacks 5 times. So yeah, really good. That critical hit, proxy racer, doing all that crazy stuff. Skill points in the class one don't really matter. I like Adrenaline just for the cooldown. It's always nice. Lucky Ghost is fine. Chance to not take damage, just obviously always good. You can use Brain Freeze, but most stuff will be dead before you can freeze them. Yeah. I use Splash Radius because for some reason it gets more Hustler procs, so I would say you need to have Splash Radius at least under class mod. I like Action Skill damage to boost Clone. I notice a big difference. Heavy weapon damage, or just weapon type, it's V2 damage, it's really good. So if you're using pistols, use pistol damage, shotgun damage. You can use Splash. I have one here. Splash damage. It'll still boost Clone, but not as much since we have AAC Splash on our guns, which also boosts Clone. But yeah. I prefer this. Skills don't really matter too much, just the passive. One thing I forgot to mention is why Clone is so good for the setup and for Hustler in general. Clone can stack Hustler when it damages enemies, but it does not consume Hustler at all. So, Clone stacking Hustler means more chances for Hustler to automatically happen and less dependent on you. And then Clone is just also good for aggro draw. It can proc Salvation because you're not always shooting all the time. So those downtimes when you're not shooting or dealing damage, Clone's got your back. And just that, again, that aggro draw is amazing. Fight for your life. No problem because it can kill enemies and because it hold you. Clone is just really much in general Zane's best action skill, besides obviously Mantis. But your second action skill, Clone, for the win.